Hi everyone, Miss Herman here. I hope that you're enjoying the beautiful fall weather that we've been having, and I hope that you've been enjoying it with your five senses. Now you may be saying, how can I enjoy fall weather with my five senses? Well, now let's think about it. When you look outside during fall, what are some things that you see? You can see leaves falling off the trees and changing color. You can see the Halloween decorations or the fall decorations outside. We can smell fresh air. And what about the flavors and smells that come with fall, like pumpkin and cinnamon? We can taste fall by tasting things like that, like cinnamon, pumpkin, things that taste like apples. That's a fall flavor. You can hear fall. Let's think about that. How can we hear fall? I got it. We can hear fall by when you're walking through the leaves, how they crunch. They go crunch, 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 crunch when you're walking through them. And if you go faster and faster, the louder sound they make. So that's how we can hear fall. So we've done see. We could see fall, hear fall, taste fall, smell fall, touch fall. Let's think about that. Well, how can we touch fall? We can touch a pumpkin and see what the texture of the outside of the pumpkin is. We can touch the leaves and crumble them in our hands and see how that feels. We can just be outside and touch the grass and the leaves before they die and fall off. And just enjoy the weather outside. Notice the things around you and how your senses are helping you notice them. So this week, as I said, we've started our five senses. And I love this unit because it gives us so many opportunities to explore the way our body works and how our senses help us in ways that we wouldn't even think about. So using your senses might be something that you don't ever think about. Maybe when you're eating, you don't realize that you're smelling and tasting and seeing and hearing. When you're playing, maybe these things just don't come to mind. But what I'm here to do, and your teachers are here to do, to point out to you so you can see every time that you're using a sense. Now, today I'm going to read a book. Excuse me, Miss Munch. Sure, it's a little crazy. Today I'm going to read a book that shows how we can use more than one sense at a time. It's called I Hear a Pickle and Smell and See and Touch and Taste It Too. When I'm done with this book, when you're done listening and seeing me read it, you are going to pick one activity that you do during the day, and you're going to see how many senses you use to do that activity. So say you're eating dinner, and maybe you're eating a really crunchy piece of a carrot. Now you can hear the crunch, you can see the carrot, you can taste the carrot, you could smell the carrot, and you can touch the carrot. So you're using all of your five senses. Now in this book, it might be a little weird to hear I hear a pickle. How can you hear a pickle? I know you could see a pickle, and you could taste a pickle, and you could smell a pickle, and you could touch it, but how do you hear it? I know. It's like when you eat every kind of crunchy food, like maybe a piece of broccoli that's not cooked, or a carrot that's raw, that's uncooked, or chips, or pretzels, or a cookie. It makes a crunching sound. So like a pickle, also, you can hear it when you eat it. So this book is going to show us all different ways that we use our senses in each different category. And then Mr. Man's going to point out when a character is using more than one sense at a time. I hear the birdie. I hear the bee. Oh, now that's the way that his ears are protecting him. If he hears a bee, that's telling you, oh no, the bee might sting me. Maybe I should get out of here. I don't hear the worm. So she doesn't hear the worm. See, it's on the log. She doesn't hear it. But let's think. Is she seeing the worm? Yes. Let's say she touches it. She's touching the worm. We can't taste the worm. Ew. She doesn't hear it, and probably doesn't have a real smell, unless maybe it just smells like dirt. I hear the seagull. I hear the ocean in the shell. I hear the waves. I hear Grandma on the phone. We hear the music and we dance. I hear the drums, but it's too loud. I hear the fridge hum and the cat purr, and I hear the vacuum, and I hear the traffic. Now on this one page, we have a difference between hearing loud sounds like the vacuum that goes vroom. See how the dog is afraid of it? And these are a little bit more quiet sounds. A refrigerator humming that might sound like or when we think about a cat meowing, going meow, meow, or purring, those are very soft sounds. I hear the rain. Now, Miss Herman is gonna have you clap your hands on your lap and make the sounds of the rain. Go ahead, do it with me. I know you can't see my hands. You can just tap them on your lap like the rain is coming down, and now it's coming down faster. And now there's thunder, thunder, thunder. See how we can make the sounds of things that are outside just with our hands? I hear thunder, boom. But I don't hear the snow falling. The snow is too soft, so you don't hear it falling and hitting the ground. I hear my hit and I hear cheering. Hooray! I smell the soap. Now let's look at this. She's smelling the soap, but she's also touching it and seeing it, and she's smelling it. We don't taste soap. The soap does not taste good. And I don't know, maybe you can hear soap when you're washing your hands and your hands sound like squeak, 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 squeak with the soap on it. I smell Mommy's perfume. It smells pretty. I smell my blankie. I love my blankie. I smell the baby's poop. Ooh, stinky smell. And I smell my big brother's smelly sneakers. I smell bread. So let's think. This bread has the little marks coming off of it. Now, he smells the bread, but what else can he tell by looking at the bread with those marks coming up here? That is meant to show that the bread is hot. That's supposed to be steam. So if the boy or you were looking at bread that just came out of the oven that was nice and hot, the steam coming off of it would also tell you by your sight not to touch it because it's too hot. I smell toast. It's burnt. Your sense of smell can also help you to know when things are burning. I smell the pizza. I smell the cheese. I don't smell. I have a cold. Now, when our nose gets stuffy and we have a cold, sometimes it feels like we can't breathe, right? And maybe sometimes we can't smell things that are around us, and sometimes we can't taste the foods that we eat if we can't smell through our nose. Now, we're gonna get to that later, but just know that there's a connection between your smell and your taste. I smell the rain. I smell the grass is so fresh. I don't like to smell cow poop. I smell the flowers. See, that's what we're on, sight. I see the airplane up so high. So he sees the airplane. Do you think he can hear the airplane? I think so. When we see an airplane, we usually hear a really loud sound that goes with it. Can he touch the airplane? No, it's too high up. Can he smell the airplane? I know airplanes usually have a smell inside, but not from outside. And we said, the lamp is on. I can see. The lamp is off. I don't see. I see my books. I read to Henry. I don't see the words in my book. Okay, so In the video the other day, Mrs. B showed you about how she was wearing glasses. In this book, the little girl is having trouble seeing what is on her page, so she has to wear glasses to help her see better. I don't see the flower grow. I see Charlie. Now, he's playing with the doggy, and he could see Charlie. He's already said that. He could probably smell Charlie because dogs have a smell to them. We can't let him eat him, so he can't taste the dog, Charlie. He will touch the dog if he's playing with him, probably. And he will hear the dog barking and growling and happy to play with him. So we see how we can use more than one sense at a time. Just because he's seeing the dog doesn't mean he's not smelling it or touching it or hearing it. He's not tasting it because we don't taste dogs. But you see how we could start? We could start thinking about how we use more than one sense at a time. I see the snow, but I can't see my mitten. I see it. There it is. I see the moon. I see a star. I make a wish. I see the bunny. It hops. I see the turtle's shell, but I don't see the turtle. I see fireworks. Now, he's saying he's using his sense of sight to see the fireworks. Usually fireworks can have a smell to them also. It could smell similar to a fire, like something's burning. Do we touch a firework? No. So they're not touching them. What other sense do you, and they're not tasting them. So what other sense do we think that the boy is using here besides sight? We already said he can't touch them. He can't taste them. He can probably smell them. But what else do you think, what other sense do you think he's using when he's watching the fireworks? Can you hear fireworks? Of course you can, right? They're super loud. How could you not hear them? So he's using his sense of sight to see the fireworks, and he's hearing the fireworks with the sense of hearing. I see my balloon. Uh-oh, it's floating away. Look, she's not touching it anymore. Speaking of touch, I touch the friendly dog. I touch my birdie. I don't touch the fish. I touch the sands and I make a castle. I touch the rain. How does the rain feel when you feel it? Wet, right? I don't touch the cactus. I touch my brother's foot to tickle him. I don't touch my boo-boo. And I don't touch the plug. So this is how your sense of touch helps you to know what not to touch. This is dangerous. This can give you germs inside your boo-boo, which we know we don't want. And this could be dangerous if you touch a plug, okay? Only grown-ups should do that. Here's another way that your sense of touch helps you. If you were to touch that stove, which you should not, your hand would touch the stove and then you would go, ah! Your hand sends a signal to your brain that says, don't touch that, it's too hot. And that's the way our sense of touch can help us, keep us protected. I touch the lollipop. He says it's sticky, but he's also tasting the lollipop and looking at the lollipop. And I'm sure he could smell the lollipop. And I think unless he chews on it, he probably can't hear it. Maybe he hears himself sucking on it. I touched the egg and it fell on the floor, so I'm sure he heard and saw it crack. I touched the cupcake. I touched the worm, slimy. I don't touch the painting, it's wet. I touch the bubbles, pop, pop, pop. I taste the watermelon, it is sweet. I taste the pretzel, it is salty. I taste the hot dog. I wait to taste the oatmeal because it's still hot. I taste the apple, crunchy. I taste the chili, spicy. I taste the milk. I don't want to taste the spinach. I taste the spinach and I like it. I taste the crackers and the birds do too. I taste the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but she just tastes jelly because she's allergic to peanuts. I taste the spaghetti and meatballs, my favorite. I can't wait to taste the cake after dinner. I taste the ice cream and my dog likes it too. I taste the pickle, it's sour. I smell the pickle, it's spicy. I see the pickle, it's green. I touch the pickle, it's slippery. And I hear the pickle, crunch. So this is how he's using all 5 of his senses when he's just eating a pickle. He sees it, he smells it, he tastes it, he hears it, he touches it. So now what you're gonna do for your teachers is you are going to pick one activity that you do during the day. This can be when you're eating, playing, relaxing on the couch, taking a bath, playing outside, doing your homework or your work for school, and try to think about all the senses you are using. Now say if we're eating dinner, if you're eating dinner when you do this, you are smelling your food, you're tasting your food. Sometimes you could be touching it, but if you're not touching your food, it likely is that you're touching something around, right? You are seeing, touching, smelling, tasting. And let's see, can you hear your food? Maybe if it's something super, super crunchy, right? If you're outside or playing with, maybe you have an animal in your house and like the boy in the book does. When he was playing with his dog, he could see the dog, he could touch the dog, he smelled the dog. You don't taste the dog, but he could hear the dog. So he had 4 of his senses, 1, 2, 3, 4, were working at that time. So pick an activity and let us know how many senses and which of those senses you are using while you are doing this activity. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see your responses. Bye.